This is the video that's going to show you how to literally make your life exponentially better. Not just a little bit. A lot. With success, with joy, money honey. The compound effect, for some context, is essentially when you reap huge rewards from small but consistent actions. In the day-to-day, it doesn't really feel that hard. It feels like showing up. Once you can flex the muscle of showing up, you're good. And let's be honest, it's all about the long game. I mean, you're not going to marry the first Egypt you match with on Tinder, are you? I'm going to work gradually towards my favourite. And even at that, the first one is still absolutely banging. So first, habits. The one that you've heard a million times. Habits are, of course, the things that you do almost automatically. You don't even have to think about doing them. And let me ask you, when you put on your socks every single day, which one do you put on first? You probably have no clue. You probably don't even know what you put on first. But the chances are you probably put the same one on first every single day because it's a habit. Let's use this, like if we choose habits that actually make our life better, things that will add up to you achieving your big goals, can't you see how that's going to be life-changing? Let's say the habit you choose is to read 10 pages of a personal development book every night before bed. It seems like not really much, but over time, you're going to end up reading like hundreds of books. It compounds and you become a little book devouring machine. I'm a big fan with habits of having a streak. It feels really rough to break a really good streak. This is what gave me my 360-day streak on Duolingo. Even though there were days where I was like, ugh, yeah, but I have a 300-day streak. Am I really going to let that drop? So the more of a stack that you build of tick days, like days where you've done it, it feels easier because you're like, well, I've got way more of a reason now to do this habit because like, look at how many days I've already been doing it. Am I really going to break it? And the more momentum you build, the more automatic it gets, the easier it gets. Then you can start to increase the habit, as in like read 20 pages a day or whatever, or add a different habit to improve in another area. All right, let's move into the second one. So we're starting to move in a more fun direction. This one is about finances. I know. My favorite way to apply the compound effect in my finances is through investing, and not just any old investing, but dividend investing. So investing in stocks where if I invest $100 of my own money into stocks every month, they're going to pay me a certain amount for having invested that money. If I put $100 of my own money and reinvest the dividends that they're paying me, then each time the dividend is going to be more. Each dividend they pay me is going to be higher, and I still reinvest those higher dividends, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and it becomes, you guessed it, exponential. So let's take a look at how this would actually play out. So I'm using this dividend calculator by marketbeat.com. You can see the link up the top there. And I'm just going to go over some of the pieces that we're going to change here. So the starting principle, we're probably not starting out with 100 grand, but let's just say we start out with 1,000. And we switch the distribution frequency to monthly. For drip, we're going to say yes. This is basically you reinvesting your dividends. So for annual contributions, let's say 2,400, that would assume that you're investing 200 a month. And just going to leave most of this as it is, but let's say you did this every month for 30 years. And we're going to go calculate dividends. Now you'll see how this will end up compounding over time. So your ending balance is 249,833.81. Your annual dividend income at the end of the 30 years is 12,781. And obviously you have to remember that this is you investing like a pretty low amount as far as dividends go, but all of this money is completely passive. Yeah, it's not 100% accurate, but it's based on how the market tends to go. Now, let's change it up here. Let's say you were going to contribute like 1,000 a month, meaning 12,000 every year. And let's just see how that changes things. So we're going to go calculate dividends. Whoa, okay, so this is the thing, right? Ending balance after 30 years, 1,215,597. Total dividend payments over the years are over 500k, almost 600k. Now let's double that again. Let's see how that works out.
Ending balance 2.4 million. Annual dividend income is literally over 6 figures. Total dividend payments over 30 years is over $1 million. So yes, it's a lot to put in like $2,000 a month for 24,000 a year. But all of this is completely passive. And even if you don't have the means to do that, go a little bit lower on it. All of this money, it's like your money is out there as a little minion and working for you. That is really exciting to me. I'm not saying that this has to be your only source of income, but what I am saying is this gets to supplement your income and you don't actually have to work for it. This is how the rich get rich, is they make their money work for them.
Okay, third, reflections. Every single week you gain a lot of extremely useful data. You've experienced not just an hour, but a week, which is 168 hours of life. You're figuring out what works for you, and you're figuring out what really doesn't work for you, and you're figuring out where you have emotional reactions to things. Most people go about their lives not acknowledging this data, and that is why they stay stagnant. But I want you to think about the power in this. For every single week, you improve on the last week. And if you already did this last week, that means this week you're improving on an already improved version of you. And that process repeats and repeats and repeats. Next thing you know, exponential growth. It's there for the taking. Let's not just like be this floating beach ball in the sea of our lives, because you're going to be taken by the current. We're on to my last one, which is my favorite one, and leveraged action. Leveraged action is doing tasks right now that will save you time in the future on an ongoing basis. So not just doing 20 hours of YouTube videos so that you're ahead of your YouTube schedule. Not that. I actually mean something different. Maybe it's figuring out an AI software that's gonna reduce the amount of time it takes you to edit your videos in the future. Or maybe it's spending an hour or an hour and a half writing an SOP that you can send to an editor to tell them exactly how you want your videos edited. You can take an hour writing this SOP and never have to edit your YouTube videos again. Can you imagine how many hours you are going to get back in the future by doing that? So that 1 hour is probably saving you hundreds, if not thousands of hours. Imagine if you took 1 to 2 leveraged actions each week. Your life would literally get easier, it would get simpler, the tasks would get faster to do, because every single time you've done those tasks, you're doing it in a way where you don't have to do it from scratch, or you don't have to do it at all in the future. That is how we achieve time freedom. I want to work you out of literally as much of your business as possible. Not so that you're going to have nothing to do, so that you get to choose what you get to do. It doesn't mean you're going to do your 5 hours of work and then twiddle your thumbs. It means that you get to feel into what you're called to. Like, does it feel fun for you to like film a different kind of YouTube video? Or does it feel fun to go have coffee with a friend? You have the freedom to choose. If that feels like it to you, then you're absolutely in the right place. Drop a comment with which one blew your mind the most. Which of this is like a hell yes to you. I'm gonna see you next Wednesday at 3 p.m. GMT.